Hello, y'all. Before we get into this reading, I just want to give y'all some tips in making sure that you're choosing the correct energy. It's come into my awareness as a reader that when you innately tap into something, you're typically tapping into your own perspectives and beliefs and feelings in regards to someone. Sometimes it's sort of like your hopes or it's not necessarily an accurate read on energy, in my opinion. It's not always that way. So it helps a lot if you are, especially if you're trying to get how somebody else feels, that you're really thinking about that person. And so what I would like you to do before you kind of tap into this reading is just slow down, take a deep breath, think about your person, and that should shift you energetically. I would imagine that you might even tap cards, and arguably the first card that you hit into could have been you, so you might want to even look at that as well. I have a couple weird downloads. I'm starting a blog. I don't have this quite structured yet, or I have it started, but I haven't written a post. I wrote this morning because I had this download in regards to who's leading and who's following in terms of specific scenarios, and I have to dissect it some more because it was all kind of flooding in and I was just kind of all over the place with my thought process in writing. But essentially, it was sort of showing me, or I guess I was just being informed. I don't know how things work in this realm, honestly, or work in this space. But I was being shown who's really leading in these scenarios. We think that women are in their masculine when they're chasing, but are they chasing or are they following? Because is there a carrot being dangled in their face that they're kind of interested in, and they keep, the carrot's always just kind of just out of reach, and so they continue to pique in curiosity. And is this something that just exists naturally within the human psyche, where we're sort of interested in that which we cannot have? And also, what happens then, how do things work realistically in spaces where there is no curiosity, where there is no mystery, and things just are sort of really easy? How much do we really tap into that space, and how interested are we when things are simple? And more importantly, how have things worked out when there's simplicity? Because the only time that simplicity works realistically is when there is a duality within trust. There's trust on both sides. Many of the relationships that alchemize into, wonderful, beautiful relationships, it's trust on both sides. And oftentimes trust is a massive barrier within connections. So that's something I'm dissecting a little bit, trying to understand what the message is, because it just came in so many different ways, and it was, at one point, it just felt confusing to even try to dissect it. So I have to think about it some more. I had to take a little nap, I guess, because this morning I wasn't actually feeling that well. And that's another thing too, is that I'm having this disconnect with meat in this moment, or just food in general. I have ADHD, and so I tend to, I'll like a certain food for, I don't know, 10 days, and it'll be my meal every day, right? And I'm just, but right now I don't have one. Everything sounds disgusting. And so food is literally making me nauseous, especially if it's meat. So I don't know what's going on. So this morning I had been up for I woke up at 4:30 in the morning. And so I had been up for 4 hours, and I don't normally eat until noon. But because I had been up so early, I decided to get something to eat, and then I ate meat. Oh my God. I thought, I don't think it was 20 minutes after I ate, not even that I was what a mistake, because I was so sick to my stomach that it's almost like my body is just rejecting it. I don't know. That's weird, but anyway. So I didn't feel like I could really sit down into an energy reading, so I took a nap, right? Well, in this nap, which was only like an hour long, I had a dream that someone was coming, like there was this like team of people coming to take all of my things because I had lost everything essentially. And they were like taking notes to figure out why it is I was in this situation. I'm like, why are you all here? And why aren't you where the person is? Like, why aren't you talking to the men in these situations? You know, like, why is it always the women? And I know that there are plenty of men out there who are taking care of what they need to. And so this isn't a conversation about you, but it's like, why is it always looking at the women like, how come you can't handle this? What do you mean? Because I didn't neglect my family? Because I didn't walk away from everything that I had responsibility in? That's why? I'm sure it is easier when you leave everything behind, right? Man, I don't know. It was just a weird dream. And I've been having some strange dreams about conflict lately that haven't really made much sense to me, where I'm having conflict with, like, in regards to connections or relationships in particular. So anyway, okay, I don't know where I'm just babbling at this point. I'm sorry. What we're going to do today is we're going to tap into your person's reading, or I'm sorry, your person's energy in this moment, how they're feeling, what they're focused on. We're going to do characteristic traits and then do their energy towards you in this space. So it is going to be relatively quick though, since there are 5 different energies for me to tap into in this space. I hadn't necessarily anticipated this, but there was one energy in particular that felt like it needed to come out, which was this middle one here, the assassin energy. Just so that we're all on board and that we know, I'm going to provide a disclaimer that I don't sugarcoat any message that comes in. It just... I don't really have a filtration system when I communicate, and that is very obvious when I read tarot as well. So when the messages come in, they are intended for your individual growth as a person, and not necessarily to keep you stuck in spaces that you may not be receiving what you are putting into a situation. So just a heads up, okay? All right, here we go. You have group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4, and group 5. All right, I'm going to pull these out. Group 1, you have the witch. Your person could be into spiritual work. They could be somebody who is, I mean, they very well could be a tarot reader, couldn't they? I could be your person. I do actually typically tap into the first space that I read. So oftentimes I'm like inadvertently reading my own energy, but I can't do it unless it's in an inadvertent way. I don't know how to explain it, but so your person could be somebody who is into they could be into the occult practices, so things like any kind of spiritual work realistically, but also they have a real rebellious side to them. I don't think that they follow authority very well. I also don't think that they, like, if there was a system in play, I think your person would really question that system. They would question, like, why? Okay, so someone was like, hey, you need to do this, and I think they would be the first person to be like, well, okay, but tell me why I need to do this, not just that I need to do it. What is the purpose behind it? So they have a curiosity about them, but also it comes off a little bit like a rebellion. And they may have issues really with like authority or just, I don't know. I just feel like your person probably just walks off the beaten path in a general sense. And so they really kind of stand out a bit. All right. Let's tap into their energy. Actually, let's first do their characteristic traits so that you know that this is your person. What is the character of person one. I'm actually going to move this way. I don't think I'm going to do any reversals in this reading unless it really feels like that should be. One more. This guy, I think, wanted to come out. What do we have on the bottom of the deck? I have the shark as well as the fish. And the oyster actually seems kind of important as well. Okay. Yeah, I definitely feel like your person sort of questions authority. And I don't think they follow a crowd, honestly. I would say that your person has a bit of a leadership vibe to them. Hold on. We have the cosmic egg out as well. They definitely have leadership qualities. So this is somebody who, they definitely are not like going to eagerly follow the opinions or belief systems of others without having done quite a bit of research, honestly. I do feel like this is somebody who's really tenacious. They go after what they want. They are also, they have sides to them, okay? They have been through a lot of transformations, so a lot of ascensions or just upgrades that they've, like, so this would be the type of person that it's like when they experience something that you know, shakes them up, they learn what not to do from that experience, rather than, I think they would be just less likely to repeat cycles, or they really try not to. So they try to, you know, go through the process of ascending into what they learned from the last cycle. So they're also really comfortable, honestly, with uncomfortability. So this is somebody who could be really vulnerable, and but yeah, also simultaneously, it's like a weird, it's sort of interesting because it's almost like they give this like illusion of vulnerability in some capacity, and then they keep certain things like very locked up. For instance, like their deeper feelings in different spaces, I feel in different like specifically within connections, actually. I think that it's a little bit more difficult to get those out of them. And so they do tend like they do seem to keep some parts of themselves on guard, especially with this oyster egg. I'm sorry, the oyster as well as the cosmic egg. The cosmic egg is really like a lot about it's a creative space and having sort of, it's like the all-knowing space too. But it's also a bit guarded just in the imagery, so that they really protect their own sort of inquisitive or eclectic way of viewing the world. They keep sort of the internal world that they have built, because like of how they got there, to themselves a bit. So they don't tend to they're not going to be somebody who really is just going to come right out and start sharing their inner world with you. It's going to take you really having to most likely seem interested enough to, or ask questions. But really, it's just like, I think that they would really, you're going to have to seem interested in them to sort of receive that from them. They are sort of, even in this leading energy, they are playful. So they have elements within their personality that's sort of childlike or innocent, that flows into emotions, and they're really easy to kind of get the attention of. Well, easy, I don't know if they're easy to get the attention of, but you can get their attention. Probably by seeming to want it, you know. They are someone who goes after what they want. They are pretty tenacious, honestly. They come through with this shark. So I think that one thing that people just really probably don't see coming with this person is that there is a bite behind them. I don't think it's something that comes out all the time, because these are sort of more surfaced here. So they are a bit more, they do have a fiery personality. Like they do go after what they want, and they do have, they have this way of kind of standing out too, and being a sort of, I don't know, I just feel like they probably wouldn't be somebody that you interact with often. There's probably, I mean, from my opinion, I feel like you could meet like 9 people and, or it's like 9 out of 10 people would operate the same, and then this person would come in, and it's probably even a higher number than that, honestly. So it's like 1 in 100 or 1 in 1,000. This person's gonna just operate kind of on their own. They do have a past, or they have been through some things where that have been really dark or have been difficult for them, and they now are in this space of sort of seeking the light in all things, or seeking the light in several situations or scenarios, or just in life in general. So they do have this like darker world, but I feel like it's more like a darker past where they had a lot to kind of heal from, especially with this like butterfly energy here as well. So that's sort of characteristics though. Let's see. I mean, I guess I did say that they're just going to stand out. They're probably really creative. I would say that they're probably they probably run in a really small circle. They probably don't have a lot of friends. They are coming off as like a lone wolf. So I think it's either that they stand out, or they don't have a big circle. And yeah, I would say many of these like are a little less, some of these are closed off energies. So in addition to that, not only do they have a small group, they aren't going to let just anybody in either. Okay, let's get into their energy, just in a general sense, like what their kind of energies are, and then what their energy is towards you. Okay, what is your person's energy? What is your person's energy? They're really inquisitive. They're probably really intelligent. They do definitely stand out. They're fair. I think this is a person that would be really like, you definitely probably couldn't pull one over on them. They might operate often in a masculine energy. And they have an awful lot of depth within their, within them. Bottom of the deck, you have the Destroyer, as well as the Underworld. I do think they keep a lot actually kind of in wraps, or they keep a lot to themselves in terms of what they've been through, or how they got there. Or there's just like there's a depth to this person that I don't think that maybe comes up. Like, you might not see it initially. I think what you'll see in them is that they have this sort of star quality, but it's also kind of that they are just sort of on the like the brink of that, or that if they did, you know, I guess if they moved a little bit differently, they would be in a bit more of a, I guess, in your face energy. This Starborn card is kind of like breaking through to that. So you got the egg that's kind of there and cracked, but it's not quite cracked open yet. So I do feel like they have this sort of like, I don't think they even maybe intentionally have the all eyes on me thing. It's just that they have something to offer. And if they are moving often in a masculine energy, they're very comfortable going after what they want. So I feel like they might actually present often in that space, but there's a lot honestly beneath the surface with this person, an astronomical amount of depth within this person. I would argue that they're really intelligent, probably in a way that is unconventional. So their intellect is going to be something that it actually is probably, rather than sort of a lot of people relating into it, they're probably going to be a bit where they are sort of teachers in that space, where the things that they are discussing are things that other people learn from them, not the other way around. And they have like they're very comfortable sort of starting over, I guess, especially within the confines of self. with this destroyer card, it seems like your person is, they could be somebody who's really comfortable with accountability. They could be somebody who's really comfortable with vulnerability, or kind of operating in the fool space, which the fool space is comfortable taking leaps forward and comfortable taking risk. And so they tend to be something that would literally destroy an old paradigm or an old version of themselves if they've learned something of value that sort of put them in a space of seeing themselves differently. They're very, very adaptable, actually, in this energy with this destroyer energy, but also they have a sense of like justice to them too. So they operate in truth. I would argue that this person is probably very honest, and in some regards they're probably too honest. It's like there are some things that this person could probably use to keep to themselves, and that might be honestly why they kind of stand out a little bit. But they're fair about it. Like what they say isn't necessarily inaccurate. It's just, I don't even know if they really operate in a way that's like, oh, I'm aware that I'm being sort of, I wouldn't even consider it judgmental with this energy, because there's a lot of fairness behind the Judge card. And so it's just really being operating in a space of truth and authenticity. But I do think they either have a pathway of alchemy where they kind of bottom to top it, or they have a lot beneath the surface that they have not brought out, or that they keep kind of in wraps. And I think that was pretty apparent in some of the other energy as well. Okay. Now, let's get into how your person views you. I am feeling like I gotta get a drink of water. I drink my coffee, but that's just not the same hit. Okay. What is your person's energy towards you? Your person's energy towards you. Your person's energy towards you. What is your person's energy towards you? It's interesting because some of those emotions that they keep hidden are actually like, might be emotions they have towards you. Okay. Okay, well. Some duality in this space. Okay, so, okay. So I do feel like there's been some things that your person, like things that have occurred in this situation with your person that they maybe disagree with, or that made them a bit angry. So I do think they have just a little bit of, it's almost though, here's a box elder bug. It's kind of like these things are sort of, you know, it's interesting because it's like, this is the center of how they feel, okay? It's like they want to build with you. I think your person sees you as, honestly, I feel like they see you as somebody that they would commit to, okay? Or that they want to build with. They want to build on this connection, at least, that they have with you. And in this space, they're kind of seeing you, at least through their eyes, it's like the potential of being the one. But I think some things have occurred that they're just kind of, it's like they're trying to get a grip, I guess, on their own sort of aggression in this space, and keep that kind of under wraps a little bit. Now, their energy towards you is that it's sort of this, the mentor card, honestly, it's like at first when it came out, I was like, oh, I think they would like to teach you sort of things, but I think that they also feel like they have learned from you. So it's kind of this like, it's like, they feel they could teach you things, but they feel they've also learned from you. And they are very, it's like they do want you. Like there's this hunter energy, so it's like they want you. They want to pursue you, but I think that they kind of maybe get in their own way a little bit with this. There is like this night and day with them, okay? In terms of how they view the space. It's just about trust in this space. You notice that their energy has a lot to do with the judgment is all about trust and authenticity and like realness, right? In this space, they don't feel like, it doesn't seem like that exists in this energy. None of these cards are sort of, I guess, a safe haven for trust, except for the castle. But see how everything else around it is just a little bit more like, it's like shaky, or it's a little bit more tumultuous. It's not as steady, right? And this person really needs trust to feel safe. And so there's just, it's like it's kind of like, honestly, that they're fighting themselves in this space, because it's like on one hand they want to pursue you, but they are so, it's like almost like pursuing you goes against the grain of how they feel things should be. And so they're kind of, they don't know what to do in this space realistically, and they're trying, it's like almost like they're learning as they go. And so I think that this is like they're keeping this under wraps, but they do see, like at the center of everything is like wanting to build on this connection. And then it's like they just have fought themselves on it quite a bit. Let's see if I can get anything else to come out energetically. What else? Oh my gosh, I had saw this card. Yeah, I think they really want to feel balance in this space. And I think that's something that is just like mystic. So they either see that, so it can either be that they've seen changes in you since beginning this connection, or they've experienced an awful lot of change within themselves in this connection. I do think your person has some insecurities surrounding self, and trust, okay? And feeling a little bit guarded in that space. But also there's like, it's interesting because this card hits too on, it hits a little bit in that they have also like this physical connection with you, or even that they have, I guess, like parts of them that they wouldn't let everybody in to see, but they, it's like they have, it's almost like they would allow you in to see that. They do tend to view you within a bit of a nurturing energy. And or they're, so here's the thing too, is that their energy towards you could also be nurturing, or that they have like a sense of wanting to nurture you. So it's like one or the other. Shapeshifter. So their energy towards you is that like this connection is changing them, or they see you changing as a result of this connection. Another energy they have towards you is that they see you in this orphan energy and see you as somebody who maybe doesn't have a whole big support system around them. Or it's that they're feeling really alone in this space. So it's like one or the other. So they're either viewing you as somebody who is sort of out on their own, or they are feeling alone in their energy when it comes towards you. It's sort of like they feel like a lot of this stuff, other than this card, is like what they want, but a lot of this stuff is like one-sided energy too. So it's like almost as though your person just doesn't know. There's like not enough knowledge coming through in this space, not enough truth, I guess, coming out in these cards. And so it's like they have to move on mystery. And And I think your person's actually really comfortable with that. Again, they're comfortable with shaking shit up, okay? So, and they're comfortable with experimenting, and they're comfortable with learning. So it's, you know, the energy that they have here is that it's like they're willing to learn. Your person could see you as a healer, or see themselves as a healer in this situation, or is going through some healing as a result of this connection. So I think let's do one more. They could also view you in this space of just like, and I don't know if this is necessarily accurate, but they could see you as somebody who wants a lot of physical attention, or like kind of does things to get attention from, it doesn't have to be the opposite sex. There's plenty of same-sex people who tap into these readings, but just from whatever sex you're attracted to, right? So they could see you as somebody who like lures in people. And so I do feel like one element that exists in this space, realistically, group one, is that I don't think your person trusts you that well. And so what they need here and in this space is trust. So they need to kind of have, they don't have enough information. It seems like a lot of this stuff is like seeking stuff, and a lot of it, like, these are not what I would consider like knowledge cards. Many of these are not what I hit energetically for knowledge. And so I feel like they don't know enough, and what they do know, it's like they can't trust. So I think they struggle in this space to really be in this energy with you, and to feel like it's okay to move forward. And also, like, this absence of trust is something that really knocks this person off balance with that Venom card. So I do think that like the way for this person's defenses to come up is when they don't feel like they can trust someone. So it's something to be aware of as well. So they need to have like some reassurance. I think in this space would probably help out quite a bit, honestly. So okay, that is your read on your person. If you resonated in with this, I think the next reading that we're going to do is Who's Your Soulmate? So do like and subscribe to my channel for more content in the future. Thank you so much for being here, group one. Also, if you are interested in a private reading, you can email me at thetemporaltaurus@outlook.com. Thank you. Bye. Oh my gosh. Group two. I had to take a moment. I was sitting in a like weird position, and I literally, I don't think I felt this much pain in my foot in a long time, the way it was sitting in this chair. Oofda. The Forgotten. Okay, so your person's energy, they're so fearful in this space, and I don't think they want you to know that. It's like, okay, so your person already feels like they just don't belong. That's like a big thing in this space, is that they don't feel like, they feel like they're supposed to operate in a certain way, and they are not doing that. And they feel like they maybe, like in this space, it's almost like they feel like it's like a woulda, shoulda, coulda. I think part of them feels like they just messed up, I guess, and that they should have done things differently, because it's kind of like the way that they moved in this space has really impacted this connection. And so they now are sort of like seeing that and wishing they had operated differently. But also they have like to be fair in this space, group two, your person has a pretty strong fear of rejection. So I do feel like they probably have been through a lot in their past that kind of put them in that energy. And so unfortunately, like there's just some trust for this person. It's like it's weird because I feel like you're probably like, well, why? I haven't given them any reason to think that I would reject them. But I think sometimes group 2, and I think I just resonate for a second into this, like into feeling like I give more than I do, but because I spend some, I don't do this now, but I used to spend so much time in my head, so within connections, that I would almost think that I had like given them more than I had, but really it's just because I had spent so much time in my head that my mind was in a space that felt like I was giving them more. But then I went through and kind of, saw the exchanges, and I was like, oh, wow, I didn't really give them much of anything. Honestly, it was all in my head. And so there is like one element that your person just, it's almost like they just don't trust it, and they're afraid essentially of being rejected in this space. Okay. Now for some of you, I do really want you to make sure that I'm going to put actually a disclaimer on, I'm going to put, I guess, a little timestamp on making sure that you're tapping into energy correctly. So I'll put that in the description too. Okay, your person's energy. It's like they're hiding. A lot of dark cards here. It's funny because they're like, this card is kind of light and these other cards are really dark. Your person's energy. It's interesting because I almost feel like this cobra and the snake are intended to be upside down. Are they? I said I wasn't going to do... I think this snake card is in the reverse. Yeah, because you have vulture in the reverse. I think you might view them or might have questioned whether or not they're honest. I do feel like they do know kind of what they're doing, though. I'm not going to lie there. I think this person is smarter than they're giving off. Like, they're pretty intelligent. Yeah, you have the sea serpent as well as the spider. I'm also going to bring out... Am I going to bring out this horse? Maybe not. We won't bring... This is enough cards, I think. Okay, so your person could be really creative. What else is the raccoon card? I think it does talk a little bit about, like, they could be somebody who is just into they're just like eclectic. Okay, so they would just walk a little bit off the beaten path, I guess. However, they do tend to... Your person is a bit of a... It's like they take on everything in a sense, or that they just have this obligation of like taking on a lot. So it's almost like they take on too much. But there is some element of this person, group 2, that does seem to have an awareness of how their behaviors are impacting you. So I don't know that I necessarily like that, but at the same time, some of the cards that I would consider sort of like manipulation cards are in the reverse. So, and I think that's important here in this space, because while, yes, they have an awareness, they're aware anyway that you are interested in them, I feel. And in some sense, they have... You know, the crocodile is a prey that will watch and watch and watch and watch its prey. And then it'll like pounce. And once it pounces, then it doesn't let go. I don't think your person has pounced. because they are still operating in this sort of like sly energy, and they're operating in the dark in some capacity. They do know a lot though. They're far. I really feel like this is somebody who you haven't even tapped into the wisdom of this person yet. There's so much that they have kind of going on beneath the surface, and the way they view the world is really a lot more out there than I think you know. Because I do feel like this person has kind of like kept some things from you, but it's almost like they're, you know, one element of them is they're sort of like building a foundation with you in some capacity. They are a bit of a lone wolf, so I would argue this person has a really small friend circle, or they probably don't have a whole lot of friends around them. They could very well come off to you. I feel like they may present to you as though they might be a vulture, but energetically it's actually saying that they're, while they do understand kind of, they understand what they're, how their behavior is coming off, and they understand how, I don't know necessarily if they understand how you feel, but they understand how they are operating, I guess, if that makes more sense here in this space, because it doesn't seem, none of these cards are gonna, ooh, I have the Phoenix coming out. This could be somebody who's actually gone through quite a bit of transitions. We're just gonna put that right over the Vulture, because the Vulture is like my least favorite card in the whole deck. They could be somebody who has done an awful lot of growth, and who has gone through many cycles and things that they have sort of transitioned out of. But I do feel a bit, group 2, that they keep a lot of this hidden from you. They keep a lot of this like vast world that they realistically have, this knowledge and all that they, yeah, it's kind of like the camel energy. They hang on to it all, and they're like, nope. They are not giving away that energy to just anybody, baby. That's interesting. Yeah, I feel like your person would kind of keep this all to themselves. So how they're going to seem on the surface, I think to you, they might seem a bit serious. They might seem to you like they're moving in strategy. They might seem to, they could even seem to you that they're not interested in you, honestly, with some of this energy. And we'll get into whether or not that's true, but so in some ways you could be questioning whether or not this person is manipulative almost. Now I have the snake and the vulture in reverse, so I'm sorry, the cobra and the vulture in reverse. Now the snake card is a lot different, and so is the sea serpent. Wow, there's lots of snakes in this, aren't there? I just realized that. But I think that's important, actually, like the imagery here, because the cobra, the one that I would argue in the upright is a little bit more of a certain energy, is in the reverse. And these are spiritual cards. Like, these are big cards. The snake and the sea serpent are huge cards, and have a lot about sort of like wrapping around this like vast knowledge of life, and really seeking it. And it's interesting because, okay, it's like in one space, like this is going to be, they're going to seek the emotional realm and sift through emotions there. And then they're going to seek through the physical realm and sift through emotions there. And I think that they are a lot more aware than you may be giving them credit for. However, there is some element of them just like looking at this situation with you and feeling like it's a missed opportunity. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into their energy and then what their energy is towards you. Okay. I gotta get a good drink of my water. I don't know, I'm super dehydrated today. And I'm trying to drink 4 32-ounce jugs of water a day. My goodness. It's like, who would have thought just drinking water is such a complicating task? Okay, sorry. Your person's energy. What is group 2's person's energy? Yeah, I kind of saw that coming. I saw the unseen. In one way, I feel like you two operate very similar. Interesting. I had the shapeshifter come out in group 1. The sustainer. Okay. Okay, so in your person's energy, yeah, I feel like they keep a lot, quite a bit underneath the surface. It's like, okay, these 3 cards kind of hit together for me. This unseen, the sustainer, and the river, okay? So it's almost like what they are sustaining realistically is sort of this mask to their emotions. There's a lot. I feel like there's so much about this person that you have not yet gotten to know, really. And it's kind of interesting, but with the mirroring energy coming right underneath that shapeshifter, you may check out group 1 to see if that feels like you a bit. But anyway, just a hit for some of you. Sorry, I feel like I just bounced like really quickly from one topic to the other. I apologize. But moving back, I just happen to have an awareness of that. And if I don't say things, I'll forget, okay? There's quite a bit of emotion within this person, quite a bit that they keep under wraps, and they're very good at sustaining that. I also feel like they just are kind of somebody who just kind of does what they need to do in a sense. And so a sustainer in sort of the 3D space. They may have a bit of a feminine energy to them a little bit. It doesn't matter if they're like male or female. But at least they could come off as sort of being a bit more soft, or having a bit more of a feminine side or a balance within that. Interesting too is like something I feel like you're not seeing with this person. They're a lover. So connection is actually really important to this person, but it's kind of, you see there's like this moon here with the kiss card. For me, this card is always about it being like something they keep really hidden, or it's like keeping their shadow, is like how important connection really is to them, and like sort of seeking that ultimate fulfillment. Other energies is the cave. I do feel like your person keeps quite a bit of their emotions kind of in check. Y'all, you're going to have to check out group 1. Other energy they have here is the siren. So they actually could be somebody who attracts, who's attractive, or who sort of attracts things to them. The animal. I feel like this is something that comes in. I don't think this is something that I would not consider the animal card, just as it comes out later too. I feel like is like a metaphor for this person, because I would argue that you probably don't see them realistically as all that tenacious, which is all this other energy that comes out. So I think that's something else that they keep, and it's right over the unseen too. That is kind of, they do have a bit of an animalistic nature actually, so they could be very passionate. Something else about this person is they do stand out. Gosh, y'all, okay, so this is the mirroring energy. If you're tapping into this, you gotta look at group 1, because I feel like y'all are connected, because there's a few of these cards that came out for both of you, and you have the Starborn here as well. So I do feel like your person comes out as, like, they stand out, okay, and they would be kind of like, I don't think you meet people like them very often, or like, it's kind of like a 1 in a million vibe, right? And this is the same thing that come out in group 1 as well. So if they are in a mirroring energy, if this is your person, okay, group 2, then you may tap into group 1 being like you in this space. I don't know, it's just feeling really like very similar energy, and also a lot of similar cards. All right, let's get into this person's energy towards you. And then we will close out the reading. How does group 2's feel? Ooh, they might have trouble communicating how they feel to you. Okay. How does group 2's person feel about group 2? They actually have quite a bit of love for you. Interesting. What else? They see you as really loving. And a little bit destructive. Yeah, you really got to check out group 1, y'all. They see that you've been through quite a few things and see you persevering through that. I think they also think that there's quite a bit about you that they don't know. They may see you as difficult to reach, or like there's distance between you. I do feel like they see that you have more than one side to you. This also came out in group 1, y'all. They do see you as somebody who really stands out to them, though. They do see you as a gem. They see you as tenacious. They see you as somebody who goes after what you want. Here we go. These cards were also in group 1, as well as this card was in group 1 as well. Here's a couple more just to come out for you. These 3 cards here, actually these 4 cards were 5. This card too. These were all in group 1. So I would highly suggest you check that out. Okay. They do see you as operating in a bit of a masculine energy. They do see you as somebody who is like in pursuit. But they do see that you have some self-destructive tendencies. They do see you as someone difficult to figure out. I would sense that they see you as a bit unpredictable too, and that there's a duality to you. It's like they know that they know they can't mess with you, I guess. So it kind of feels like your person is just like, okay, with the riddle card, it's like, how do I connect with group 3 without them biting my head off? Kind of thing. And which is weird, honestly, because I don't feel like it would be that difficult. Just communicate, you know, but whatever. Like actually communicate, you know, maybe that's how. They do see you as really creative. They see you they do see that you kind of stand out. Now it's interesting because it's like the duality within you is sort of here with this lover and hunter. It's like they see you as really lovable. They see you as really soft, but they also see you as very tenacious. Arguably, I would say that maybe if your person doesn't realize it, I would say that you have quite a bit of balance within you. And so maybe your person is aware of that. But to them, I think they see it as just like 2 sides of you. Here's that Starborn card again as well that came out in group 1, as well as the Shapeshifter. So I do think that they see you as somebody who really stands out, and also somebody who's very adaptable and capable of sort of learning their lessons. But in some capacity, I do think that they see that there's quite a bit that you don't let out and that you keep kind of beneath the surface. I do want to bring out this card too, just because it's just funny, because they may see you as having a pretty decent sense of humor as well. So, all right, group 2, that is the energy read for your person and how they feel about you. The next topic of discussion is going to be who's your soulmate. If you resonated in with this reading and would like to see more content from me, please like and subscribe to my channel. Also, if you are interested in a private reading, you can email me at the Temporal Taurus at outlook.com to set that up with me. These are $45. They run for 30 to 45 minutes. You receive them in your own private link here on YouTube that only you and I have access to, and you are welcome to have a discussion with me afterwards about the video. So, and I've gotten pretty decent reviews on these, so it might be something to consider if you're wanting to get more in depth on this topic. So, all right, group 2, thank you so much for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day. Group 3. Group 3, this is a wild card. This card wanted to come out when nobody asked for it. Sorry, I hate to say it that way. But I told y'all that I'm not here to sugarcoat things. Yeah, this card sort of just was like, I want to be here. This is the Assassin here. Ruthless Conviction is your person's card. Now, let's get into the characteristic traits of your person. And I just want to give a disclaimer before I get into this that I do read beneath the surface. So we're going to read this person's energy and their characteristic traits authentically. Assassin. I will say that your person is like they know exactly what they want in this space, and we'll figure out how they're going about it. But with the Assassin energy, I feel like this is the type of person that will continue to pursue. Now, how they are continuing to pursue is sort of up in question, right? In the beginning of this video, I did talk about like, is an energy leading if you are following it via chasing it? Because it's sort of like that energy is dangling a carrot out in front of you and you are consistently following the carrot, right? But sometimes I feel like the carrot is just our own psyche too, so something to be aware of. Sometimes you are the carrot, you know? Does that make sense? All right, what is your person's energy? You have the cheetah. The cheetah talks about like having like a light within them that they bring out. The tarantula. Cobra in the reverse. Is this in reverse or upright? It's up in the air. There's the bear. Could be a very spiritual person. I'm going to leave that Cobra in the reverse just because these two cards came out to kind of clarify that for me. Deer down underneath the bottom of the deck. Frog. As well as the cosmic egg and the bee. So it's interesting. Okay, so with your person's energy, it's this Assassin card, okay, at the center of your read. I don't think that it's necessarily a bad card, okay? Now, initially, like, the Assassin card hit a certain way with me because of, I think probably because of the name of it. But getting into the energy of your person, I don't think that they necessarily are... how do I explain this? It's like, yeah, they have they have a side to them that could maybe be like, but it's like it's a small sting. They're a softie, honestly, in a lot of ways. And I don't know, it's like, it's almost like the assassin part of them is like a mask, oddly enough, which is so interesting because it's like they may seem like they're really ruthless and seem like they're really like, this is kind of giving gentle giant vibes. It's kind of giving somebody who has like a tough exterior and a soft gooey center. I guess like they have been through some things. They have weathered some storms. They are a spiritual person, so they could be connected into maybe meditation or some kind of spiritual practice. You have the crow on the bottom of the deck as well as the elephant. I just want to bring these out because these are really great cards. So they could be somebody who is very wise or intelligent, or who has just a connection in with the spiritual world in terms of like spiritual gifts, or things that they have sort of I guess picked up on through the along the way. Okay, so because the interesting thing is, like, with the elephant card, right? They have been through some things. I don't know why I have not had this hard of a time communicating in any other space. Okay. Your person could be really busy, okay? So they could be very easily distracted because it's hard to kind of stay focused in their energy. I just want to state that. Okay, so what I'm going to say here with the elephant card is that this is a card that has been through some things. They have weathered a lot of storms. If you notice that they're missing one of their tusks here, but also their third eye is kind of open, and they have flames in their tusks, are in their trunk there. So this is they have some life experience for sure, hands down. And so the tarantula card here, okay, I think they do protect what is theirs. I think they do protect themselves and what they have built, okay? So I think that for you, with this assassin card, I think you may be tapping in to see if this person is like shady, I guess. And I would say no. In fact, I think they're actually pretty soft. A lot of this is actually kind of, it's not all feminine, but it's very balanced between that. They do have a bit of a bite though. But it's like a small sting. It's kind of like if you know how, if a bee is like it's like just kind of going around pollinating on flowers, but if you mess with the bee, then you're going to get stung. So I think that's the same way with this person. This person is not going to just sting you. In fact, there are like this card here, even though it's a predator card, this card actually talks about how the cheetah sort of like illuminates light out like from within it out to the world, and it like chases into the light. Okay. I mean, and I guess the bear is a little bit of an impulsive predator as well, but this person, anyway, it's like they're not operating strategically. They're not operating in a way that is harmful, actually. I think they are just really protective of what's themselves. They're also really hard workers. So this is somebody who, I guess if they seem like they're not giving you a whole lot of attention or whatever, like they're just so focused right now. And I think that one of the things that, see, these cards kind of all come out in the same area over here. I think one of the things that your person is really interested in this moment is just building their foundations from going through. They're either still weathering a storm, or they have come out of that and they're just sustaining in that space. So they are really focused in this moment on getting out of feeling kind of like in this energy, really, like getting out of feeling like they're always having to work on something. Now, in their sort of innate, sort of comfortable space, like over here, this kind of comes out. You see how all these are dark and all these are light over here? Is this like their shadow side? It's like their light side. I don't know. It's just coming through that way. It's like the first time it's come through in any space, but whatever. In this side, like they're fluid and they're adaptable, and they're like, they're also very intelligent though. Especially with this cosmic egg here too. And these are both like protection cards. Like they have built a big foundation, and they are not going to just let anybody in to knock down their web or to get their egg. Like, you know, so they're a protective energy as well. They do protect what's theirs, and if you mess with them, you're going to get stung. So there is that element. But are they outwardly tenacious? Are they in a space that is like purposely moving strategically or operating in a certain energy. No, actually I would say that their energy is pretty decent. So if they come out as this like assassin energy and this like ruthlessness, I think it has a lot more to do with the things that they've been through and their tenacity for life and their willingness to protect what's theirs. Also, they're just like a really hard worker, and they're not gonna, I feel like this is the type of person that would not put you before their career, honestly. I don't think they would put a whole lot before that. So they're gonna really be focused on making sure that they have built foundations for themselves. Not a person that is really gonna depend on anybody else for anything. A lot of these are like kind of lone cards, so that is the, I guess, character of your person. Let's get into their energy and then their energy towards you. Okay, what is your person's energy? They're very focused on themselves in this moment. They are like a nurturing person. This could very well be, it doesn't have to be, but you could be a masculine peeking in on a feminine, or you could be just somebody who operates in a masculine energy peeking on somebody who operates in a feminine energy, I guess. The thread. What else is the energy for this person? Oh, here and here. Okay. We'll see if anything else pops out. Well, I did have the healer actually on the bottom of the deck, but I'll put that out in a second. Right off the bat. Okay, so I will say though, if this is a masculine, they operate in a feminine energy. Okay, so that's like, it's weird because, well, they might have a duality between that, honestly, because they do have a lot of those like worker cards, and I would argue that worker cards are more masculines, and also they have they do have that sort of like hard working energies, which I would also argue is a masculine energy. So they could be really balanced in that space, which would be the agape coming in too. It's like, this is sort of like having everything in check and everything in balance, and they're really fixated on that. Now, I do think that there's some element about your person that maybe you're not aware of, is that you know how they came out as a frog in the first path about like weathering a storm? I think they are like kind of hanging on by a thread in their space. So that may be why they're so like fixated on working on what they need to work on in this moment, because they're not really, what do I want to say? It's like they're really focused on getting themselves in a space where they feel comfortable. Your person could be a bit of a leader. They could be sort of somebody who, I don't know, like other people listen to or seek advice in. They are coming out as the healer. They are also coming out as the storm as well as the orphan. So I do think your person is somebody who's kind of a lone ranger a little bit. And I don't think your person really fears that this is either that they are weathering the storm or that they are, like they're comfortable shaking shit up. One element of your person that I don't know, maybe is, I feel like this is something that is probably beneath the surface. They're a very sensual person. They have, they're very, like, I guess it's like there's a play on the physical senses with this person. So it's interesting because they come out very feminine. So that sensual energy is really present in this person. I don't know necessarily that this would be somebody who is like, don't misconstrue this as like a promiscuous card. Okay, group 3. This is more like, this is somebody who is very, like, physical touch is something that they like, I guess. They like the physical touch. I don't know how else to say it. So that is, the energy of your person. Now let's see what their energy is towards you. This could also here too, just another hit here that I just got is that they could need physical connection to feel a deeper emotional connection. Which is interesting too, because they come through as like protecting what's theirs. So they very well could like not actually let anybody into that physical space. And yet, what a duality, huh? Oh goodness. Okay, what is your person's energy towards you? What is their energy towards you? Interesting. What is their energy towards you? Okay. Their energy towards you. It's almost like they feel like there's a lot that it's okay. So it's like a duality here. Either they keep a lot of their feelings to themselves in this space, or they think you are. And they think that you're difficult to reach, or you think they're difficult to reach. With the offering card though, and the vessel, and that arrows card coming out, it's almost like and for some of you, okay, this could be somebody who has maybe, okay, I think I only resonate with this because I've been abstinent myself for like 2 years. And so I feel like, I don't know, it just like is hitting for me a little bit that this could be somebody that would offer you like their physical body. And again, like that's because it came through in the first part, right? That they may need physical touch to feel an emotional connection with somebody, right? Okay, so for them, this could be somebody who needs that in a sense, or is offering that to you, or would offer that to you. There's a sense here that this is not something that they would offer just anybody, okay? So that's interesting as well. I do think that how they operate in your energy though, group 3, is that it's almost like you make them feel childlike. There is some sense that there's some kind of pain or sadness that they have surrounding this connection with you, and they feel a bit lonely in it. It's kind of like they feel like they're kept at bay, I guess. Or there's just like they're not being let in, I guess, and so it's like they want let in every capacity with you. They do see you as somebody who's a bit difficult to kind of understand. And I also see you as somebody who is capable of going through transformations, or has been through transformations since they've known you. And they see you as the one. I'm the one, natural one, take it easy. And I do think they see you as somebody that is sort of, gosh, some of these cards came out in group 2 too, but yeah, I told group 2 that there were many cards that came out in group 1. It's like, it's almost like some of these are just kind of really like connected. If you tap into more than one energy in this read, or more than one group, do like check out the other groups, because some of these, it's almost like you're one person and the other person is the other person, you know what I mean? So it's really interesting. Some elements is like, I feel like they think that you feel the same way, or that you are mirroring one another. With the Temple card coming out, I just want to say, like, it is hitting like really strongly for me, just as someone who has been absent as long as I have, that this is somebody who has like really kept a certain part of themselves completely locked up, and would be willing to offer that to you. Now, another thing they have sort of beneath the surface too is that there's some element about you or the way that they see you or just some things that have gone down in this connection that I think they're not super happy about. And they do see you, interestingly enough, and this is like that mirroring energy, right? Okay. It's like you see them as focused on themselves. They see you as focusing on themselves as well. Interesting. Let's see if we have anything else come out in this space. One more. The vision. I do think this is somebody who actually does view a future with you. I feel like there's like this person, I feel like just because it's coming through that they're kind of willing to offer you things that they may have kept under wraps or they wouldn't offer anybody is a pretty decent indication that this person sees a vision or a future with you in mind. So yeah, interesting. I was not expecting actually that energy to come out with the assassin. So I feel like maybe if you have, the interesting thing in this space, group 3, is that if you view your person in this assassin energy, I think you've actually misread your person a little bit. Okay, so if you resonate in with this, do like and subscribe to my channel. The next topic of discussion that we're doing is who is your soulmate. I'll record that over this weekend and give you an update on the community page on when to expect that. If you're interested in a private reading, you can email me at thetemporaltaurus@outlook.com. These are $45. They run 30 to 45 minutes in length, and they are pretty in-depth on whatever it is that you want to talk about. And I've gotten pretty decent reviews and feedback on these, so I mean, if you are interested in diving deeper into your person, it may be something to check out. All right, thank you so much for being here, group 3. Enjoy the rest of your day. Group, what do we have? Group 4. Sorry. Oh, group 4. Your person's coming through as the tailor. The little hit underneath this is attention to detail and pride. What is the energy in this space for group 4? You know, in some capacity here, group 4, it feels as though your person might be have some difficulties with self-control, and therefore sort of tries to control things around them. Now, is this conscious or subconscious? I guess we're gonna find that out. But they have, I feel like it's, I would argue that some of it is conscious just because pride is present in this space. So that means they know, but they don't want to admit it. You know? Okay. Let's get into the character of group 4's person. I feel like this guy wanted to come out. Oh, which one? This one? You have the peacock, but also the crow was there. There's the frog. What else do we have for the energy for the character of this person? Interesting. These came out in group 3. Some of them, a lot of them, actually. The starfish, the deer, and the fire ant, and the swan. And now, I always get a certain hit with this one, and I'm going to give a disclaimer because some people have taken offense to it, and it's like, I'm sorry, I can't just can't please everybody, but this is somebody who would have went through a transition where they would resonate into the ugly duckling syndrome, and that is how it comes out in the reading. I understand that for some people that's just difficult. I don't know why. It's just it's okay to have transformed into a beautiful swan. So that's something that your person has a pathway on, though. So they probably would have been somebody who maybe was bullied when they were younger, or maybe they could have been somebody who went through a big like transition in terms of appearance. Okay, so your person maybe would kind of been on the back burner in the past, and now they're actually in the limelight. So your person is somebody who receives quite a bit of attention, and they do really stand out. Now, here's an interesting thing, group 4, is that I actually feel like, don't shoot the messenger here, but I kind of feel like your perception of them might be a little bit tailored. I don't know if you're viewing this person accurately. Okay, so what first came out was, I think maybe just to kind of hit you in for this person. Here's the thing. Okay, this person has, they may have some spiritual gifts, or they may be really connected into the spiritual world. They have a fiery personality. This is not somebody that, you know, fire ants are like, if you don't step on a fire ant's home, or you don't step on a fire ant, it's not going to bite you. But for this person, it's like they are in an energy that they're not, none of these are well, I mean, obviously the bear is a bit predatorial, but not in the sense of some of the other predatorial animals that would come out in this space, okay, that are a lot more aggressive. This energy for this person is like, the only way that you're going to get this like side of them is if you step on their home, you know, if you step on their toes, if you provoke them, essentially. They do tend to stand out. Now, I think that maybe you see them a bit as peacocking, but they're actually kind of in this starfish energy. I don't think your person does things innately to get attention, okay? Or at least it's not seeming that way. From the energy that's coming through in this space, I think they just kind of naturally stand out. This is somebody who is going through something, though. So they are weathering a storm in this moment. They are somebody who is a very hard worker. So what they're focused on in this moment, or at least their character, or how they come off to, is someone who is very, what do I want to say? They're very focused on building a foundation. They're essentially like building a dam, you know, like with this beaver. Oh my gosh. You know what just came into my head is Alice in Chains. How does that part go? Does anybody even know this? Damn that river. Okay, anyway. So I feel like it's just like it's interesting, because I do feel like this person has, they stand out a bit. They are, there's two animals here that are about spirituality, which is the crow and the bear. So they may be somebody who has, who is, you know, religious, or they could be a tarot reader. You know, they have, things about them that are, that are spiritual, I guess, but they're also going through something. I'm sorry, I paused for a second because I just got this pride thing on, where, with this fire ant card too, on seeing this person as prideful. I don't feel like any of these animals are realistically that prideful, honestly. Maybe the peacock. But I feel like you might see this person as like too proud to say something. We'll get into it though, because that energy did come back up, where it was like, I don't know, it's almost as though you were like sitting there questioning whether or not you were wrong about this person, and like questioning your own intuition, I guess, like kind of came up in this space in a moment. But as it like sort of stands out like at the surface of their character, or actually this is probably beneath the surface of their character, honestly, is that they're going through something, yes, and they're not the type of person that's going to just let you walk all over them. And also they're really hard at work. They're very adaptable in some capacity, but also immovable at the same time. So I guess it really depends. Like, I don't think this is somebody that you're just going to be able to like get on your side unless you're very convincing. And they may be really focused in right now, honestly, on building their own foundation. And I think there is something about this person that just kind of stands out. I think they kind of, they just kind of naturally stand out almost. With the starfish kind of being an immovable energy that kind of has that star quality, right? With the peacock thing here and the ugly duckling thing is like, it's almost like because of that life path of going through being somebody who went through some things in terms of like how they would have been treated about appearance in particular, I don't feel like that's somebody who would intentionally peacock, okay? I think they just maybe stand out. Okay, we'll see. Let's get into their energy. What is this person's energy, please, for group 4? A feminine energy, maybe? Yeah, they're definitely working on building their own foundations. You could see them as a bit distant. You could see them as a little bit sensual, or you could see them as very loving. Here's that star-born quality again that came out with that starfish thing. They do really stand out. They are somebody who has quite a bit of depth to them. And you could see them, like, you could see them as distant a bit, or not really giving into this space too much. I feel like you actually do see them in... I don't really feel like you see them too pridefully, honestly. Just with some of these energies that are coming out, or at least, or I guess this is their energy. So, they are, yeah, so their energy is, they could keep themselves at bay though, okay? They could keep a lot to themselves. So it's interesting that they have this like underneath the heart, right? I feel like and there is like a whole lot wrapped around that heart, right? I don't think this is somebody who's going to open up to you very easily. They keep that kind of wrapped up, okay? Now, one way that they may express feelings may be through physical touch, because that's Eros card coming out there. They could be somebody who is very fixated on building their foundation. And they are in this sort of... Now, typically I would see this as a feminine energy, but I just got a hit too that this is like a womb thing. And that this person could actually be in a space of sort of cocooning in this moment, where they're just like working on what they need to work on in order to get where they're going, and then they just whatever they're doing may just naturally kind of put them in the limelight. What else do we have for their energy? I think there's a lot about this person you actually don't know. Yeah, I do think they actually do. There's that creator card. I think they do work in the spiritual realm a little bit. You may see them as a bit of a siren, and that could play into that sort of pride thing. And their energy, I think their energy just sort of naturally does this, it seems like, because none of the other energies are really vindictive in this space. And so if they were an actual siren, I would say that there would be other things that are kind of coming in that would indicate that this person is doing that. They just may be attractive, you know, and so attractive people tend to get attention, you know, it's just like natural. We like to look at things that are pretty to look at, you know? So I don't necessarily know that they intentionally reel people in because of their looks, but I do feel like there's just so much about this person that I would argue a lot of people probably don't know about them, that they keep kind of wrapped up, and but they do tend to and I mean, they are a creator, so they're probably somebody who is a little bit more expressive in creativity. And so I think they do kind of let a lot of themselves out vulnerably, which maybe misconstrue people for what they are receiving from this person, or also misconstrue people to see them as somebody who's like trying to get in attention in a sexual way even. And so it's interesting because like what's unseen or what's beneath the surface is that actually this person is really fixated right now on, first of all, they protect their heart. So I don't feel like they would actually be somebody who would be in that space. Even if they utilize that space for emotional connection, it doesn't seem like that's something that's like super easy to access. And the womb here is kind of like under wraps and underneath everything. And they are fixated right now on building foundations and building sort of their own castle, I guess. Okay. Let's see what their energy is towards you, group 4. What is their energy towards you? What is group 4's person's energy towards them? You may see each other in the same capacity. Okay. There's a lot coming through. Those all came out at once. And there's that womb card as well. Energy towards you. They are sort of in a mirroring energy with you, so they could be reciprocating in effort or things that you're doing. I do think this person is actually quite fair in their exchanges with you and honest. So they are in this space here. They could see you as a feminine energy, or they could see you as in this kind of queen energy, or see you as somebody who is, well, I had self come out as well, so they could see you as somebody who is focused on self, or in this sort of queen boss energy. I do think that they are kind of like, if they're engaging in with you, I feel like there's somebody who is actually just like planting seeds with you. And they themselves, they either see you also in this womb state, because again, it's like this reciprocal energy here, where you're also kind of just working on self and working on things that you need to get done, or going through this sort of cocooning process, or the birthing stage of life, going through like a rebirth. I do think that what they are kind of laying down in this space with you, or their energy towards you anyway, is like baby steps. And they could honestly be somebody is like who uses words to connect with you. So they're going to be somebody who is far more like verbally expressive, and maybe words of affirmation is like a love language for this person. I don't get necessarily that there's that this is love bombing energy, just with the other stuff that's coming out. But I do think that there are like, or they could see you as that, I guess, because this is their energy towards you, or how they see you, or I guess what they're feeling towards you. So there's that as well. They do see you, or their energy towards you has something to do with like seeing, there's like they either see you as having two sides, or they themselves have two sides. I do think they keep a lot from you in terms of like how they are feeling. Yeah, here's that cave as well. So it seems as though their energy towards you is to keep quite a bit of what they're feeling to themselves. They don't seem to, there's not like a lot of forward momentum in this space in terms of like communication, or I guess in the seed would be a really slow process as well. So if they are moving towards you, they are moving towards you very slowly, and how you will know that they are interested, I think, will have something to do with their, like, what they're saying to you in that space. But I do feel like there's a lot of their emotions that they're sort of just keeping under wraps. Now, I will say, though, that this person they actually are relatively balanced, and they are very honest too. So I think that there's some element to them that is pretty trustworthy. But it's just that at the same time, there's a duality in that space as well, because there's a lot that they're just not they're not going to give this information to just anybody. So I think that they're just kind of testing the waters. This seed does kind of have like a ripple effect here, and it kind of operates like a drop of water, right? And then expands out into that sort of like kind of like the butterfly effect a bit, you know? So I think it's like one baby steps with this person on how they're operating with you, probably relatively slowly. I think they're probably just kind of seeing how you operate even as well. And I do think that they maybe see that there's quite a bit about you that you're not giving to them as well. So again, that's that mirroring energy with this person. All right, group 4. That is your reading. If you resonated with this, please like and subscribe to my channel. The next topic of conversation is going to be who's your soulmate, so do stick around for that. Turn on notifications. I think I'll be recording that this weekend. Also, if you are interested in a private reading, these are $45. They're 30 to 45 minutes, and we dive real deep into any topic really that you would like. You can email me at the temporaltaurus@outlook.com to set that up. Thank you so much for being here, group 4. Enjoy the rest of your day. Last but not least, you have the priest. Perseverance and faith in your person. Okay, the energy that popped in right in this space, group 5, is like a hopeless romantic, or just hopeless in general. Your person's energy is like they're just holding on to hope, I guess, in this space. All right, let's get into the character of this person. What is your person's character? Person's character. Okay. Let's see what the other cards are before I say more. Yeah, okay. All right, here we go. One more. What do we got? Well, okay. Man. Okay, so I'm going to give a disclaimer on this reading. Just already how it's hitting energetically. Some of the things that are coming out innately in this space, I think are... it's a specific energy. Okay, so we're just going to start there. As soon as I saw... And here's the hopeless thing, is that the hopeless aspect is almost like an absence of control in this space a little bit, or really wanting it, I guess. Perseverance. It's like, I don't think that, honestly, this person would be too... they have an end goal for sure. Okay, so... there are a few cards on the board that I definitely have a very specific vibe to. And the first one, and it's the center of the reading, is a lamb. It's interesting because the lamb actually doesn't read how I read it in this deck, but I cannot not read this as a wolf in sheep's clothing. It always comes out that way for me, and it's never hit any other way besides that way for me. And I would argue the scorpion here, the spider here, the crocodile here, as well as the hyena, that this person has they maybe operate with an agenda. Now they are, it's interesting too, because they are sort of like they're a fluid energy. They will kind of play when they want to play. They would be sort of a hardworking. They could a bit be I don't know why this is coming in, but they could be about a night owl. I had the panther coming out on the bottom of the deck as well. Hyena. Okay, so some elements of the hyena is this person could be very charismatic or humorous or witty, but they kind of operate in a specific energy as well. Here's the oyster coming through as well. Now in this piece, I think it's just that they keep a lot to themselves. A lot about this person that you don't. It's really interesting that their card is the priest. Like, very fascinating. The lightest card, and see how this is imagery, y'all. See how all these cards around this person are dark, and then in the middle is the lamb, right? So this person could have a real docile exterior where they seem really kind or sweet or charismatic or charming, and yet beneath all that is a lot darker behavior. Because this is all like a dark, light. This is giving wolves and this is giving covert behavior very strongly, honestly. But to the point, I'm gonna have to probably give a disclaimer on this reading, because if I like, personally speaking, if I was in the presence of this energy, I would not trust it. I would consider this pretty, like, this is the type of energy that to me works strategically to get what it wants. And it has, here's the thing, is like these, specifically the crocodile, okay? Crocodile is a type of predator that it'll watch its prey and observe its prey and gather its weak point, and then it attacks. And then once it attacks, it does not let go. And there's other things about, like, you know, being woven in a spider's web, and that there is this sting to the scorpion, right? That comes in kind of when you least expect it. And especially, like, the thing about this scorpion is, like, when in retrospect, you know, a scorpion is like this little ass bug. Or it's not even a bug, I guess, but it's like, you know, it's like this tiny little thing, and it packs a big bite. And it's kind of like what's in the dark stays in the dark. And so they have this kind of demeanor to them that you wouldn't, it's almost like they, oh gosh. It's like the way they operate is strategic. It's almost as though the space that they operate in is to gather, to get what they want. Not exactly a very trusting energy here, group 5. Very interesting that they have the priest. You know, it's kind of, how many stories, I hate to get down a rabbit hole in, like, the metaphor in this space, but how many stories have you heard about, like, priests, right, who are supposed to be these, like, you know, these God-like, you know, God-fearing people who are working for the church and working for people, and the community loves them, and then you find out that they're really bad people. That's sort of interesting for the dichotomy in this space, is like, this person has such a representation to them that makes them seem like they're just sweet and docile and kind, and yet they are, I don't think that that's true. I don't think imagery in this space is without purpose. There's a lot of darkness to this person, and they definitely operate in a very specific way. Very strategic. Okay, let's move into their energy. Okay, I'm so sorry, group 4, or group 5. Okay, what is their energy? What is the energy for group 5? What is the energy for group 5? You know, here's the interesting thing about your person, group 5, is that they may just not know any other way. It's almost like they're trying to get out of that space, actually. I don't think they, they may have an awareness of themselves. Interestingly enough, because like, do you see the medallion here? This is like moving towards the light. This is hopeful, honestly. I still would be apprehensive, don't get me wrong, but their energy is like really wanting to build on this. Their energy actually is like they feel very, it's like they see you as like someone they would commit to. They want to be in a physical relationship with you. They want to have balance. They see this as in some capacity, it's like they kind of are reaching for a way out of their darkness and wanting to ascend out of that, and wanting to build and wanting to be in a connection where they don't feel so like lost almost. So it's interesting because I think that some of those behaviors that are in them, they very well could be group 5 trying to work on that about themselves, which is like, I don't think I've met an energy, honestly, that operates in that space that has legitimately put in effort to work. Well, I guess I have, but it takes a lot of effort for them. But so interestingly enough, is like, it's almost like they are really trying to move in a much more honest space and a more balanced space, and they're trying to get out of that energy, actually. Fascinating. I wasn't anticipating that, really, so that's not bad. Maybe I won't give a disclaimer, or yeah, I better. Yeah, they could be right now in sort of this rebirth, honestly, where that's something that they're coming out of. They may be somebody who really stands out, honestly. They may have something about them. They very well could be the one. Now, interesting, there's a prayer in the priest. So, okay. I wasn't expecting this energy shift, okay? So this is really interesting, group 5. Your person could have a very dark past. They could have made some big mistakes in their past. They could be... Now, I do think that they have an awareness, though, of that. But I think they're trying to come out of that. So I think they're actually, this faith, realistically, like, what a weird shift, you know, because I just said, like, oh, these priests were doing this, and and now I am in a completely different space. But honestly, that's just how energy works, right? I wasn't anticipating that. So they very well could be really trying to move themselves out of that energy. And they could very well be somebody who's actually connecting in to spirituality to kind of move them out of a darker past. Fascinating. This is cool. I don't know. I guess I just really wasn't anticipating for this group, I guess. It's a little bit more hopeful. I guess there's faith for a reason. Trust the cards, I suppose. Trust the energy. What is their energy towards you then, group 5? Their energy towards you. Their energy, I think they feel a little bit left out by you. It's like they want to offer you something. I think they're afraid to. They're keeping their feelings from you a little bit. Oh, it's kind of like they have these feelings for you, but they're kind of just like hanging out. Yeah, they're all buried. Oh, this is fascinating. It's like this is so interesting. Okay. I also have the Storm as well as the Mentor. Okay, hold on. I feel like you might not be communicating with this person, honestly. It's like they have so much emotion towards you. They have so many feelings towards you, and they're just keeping it all under the surface. They're not. I would argue that you're probably a no contact zone with this person. It's like they're just sustaining, realistically, like trying to navigate how to get out of their own energy and really keeping everything from you in that space. I do think, though, that they see you as somebody that they can look up to. But it's like they want to offer you something. They have all this emotion here, but I think that they just feel kind of left out in the dark. They do see you as somebody who has a lot of resilience. They see you as somebody who's very strong. To them, I think they see you as their ultimate partner. I'm going to get one more out for you. And you do stand out for them. Actually, let's do one more just to have symmetry. They definitely want to build on this relationship with you. Yeah. Interesting. So I think that I feel like your person maybe did something that was really not good. And they're aware of that. I think they know. That's the thing, is that their behaviors, they're very aware of. So that's something to kind of watch out for this person, because it's like, okay, are they really trying to change, or are they in this headspace because they're not getting what they want? That's important. With all the other energy that came in the beginning, you know, it's like they are capable of operating a certain way. So don't like discredit that because of the rest of this reading, right? But I do think that they have big feelings for you, and they want to offer you more, and they do have deeper emotions for you, but they are very buried beneath the surface. It's like they are kind of operating in this cave or this underworld in terms of like how they feel about you, and not really giving a whole lot of that out to you, despite really wanting to. Like, they do want to offer you more. They do want to bring a message to you. They do want to tell you how they feel, but it's almost like they're holding themselves back from being able to do that, because they feel they feel a bit disconnected from you. All right, group 5. The next reading that we're doing this weekend is Who is Your Soulmate? So if you are interested in hearing more content from me, do like and subscribe to my channel. Turn on notifications so that you can be notified of new content in the future. If you are interested in diving into this a little bit deeper or on a personal level, I am offering private readings, and you can email me at the Temporal Taurus at outlook.com to set those up. These are 30 to 45 minutes in length, and they do go into pretty, like, they're a lot more detailed and a lot more personalized. You can kind of give a general overview of what it is that you're looking for, or be a little bit more specific in that space. And then we can dive into, you know, really their energy as like who they are. So maybe something to check out for you as well. All right, group 5, thank you so much for being here. Enjoy the rest of your day.